Yo, what's up guys? So I actually didn't do like a proper intro for the video, but anyway, just to explain what's going on. So we're just building, it's like mid to high end build. It's probably around 2000 AU to 2500 AU, which is I reckon around 1500 US or somewhere around there. So it's a pretty decent build, got some pretty high end parts. Other than that, hope you enjoyed. The video just consists of the build, some funny parts, some concerning parts. Yeah, that's it. Alright, so for the build, we're using a B550 Pro from MSI. It's the 8 Pro. It's pretty decent, it covers everything. It's got a good heatsink, 4 slots of RAM, 2 SSD trays, and yeah. Alright, now for our GPU, we have the MSI Radeon RX 6600 XT. Great competitor against the RTX 3060, even the 3060 Ti, and it's less price than both of them. So after that, we have our power supply, just a pretty basic power supply. 650 watt, 7 modular from Corsair. It's pretty decent. We don't really need that much wattage, so this is a good amount. Anyway, next up is a RAM, so 16 gigs from Trident Z. It's clocked at 3600 megahertz, which is high speeds, and yeah, it looks really nice as well. Now we have our storage, so we have an SSD, Crucial. It's just like 500 gigs of Crucial SSD. It's pretty good speed. Yeah, this is all we really need, because most of the stuff we're going to do with this is gaming, so which is why we have this. 2TB Seagate hard drive from Barracuda. There's nothing much to say about this, just a hard drive. And now we have also the CPU. For this build we have the Ryzen 5 3600. We could have gone for the Ryzen 5 5600, but it was pretty costly, and it's basically the same thing, 6 core, 12 threads. We're going to be using the stock cooler. And yeah. And lastly, the case. Lastly is the case. So it's from Corsair with the IQ 465X RGB. It's a really nice case, I love the look of it. Tempered glass here on the front and on the side. 3 RGB fans at the front. We have them rubber sockets for the cables they go through. And other than that, it's really, really good. All the prices will be in the description below, and with links to all the parts. This build all up was probably around 2000 AUD dollars. So yeah. Alright, so starting off, take out the motherboard and make sure to put it on the box itself. It's just safer surface, it's easier to do stuff. We're going to start off by putting the RAM in. So it's pretty simple. So for this motherboard, it slots the second slot and the fourth slot where the RAM's actually compatible with each other. You just open up the RAM. So I've got the G-Store Trident Z, and just slot it in. You should hear it click once it's in. So let me just do that now. So there we go, that's the first slot in. And also make sure the sticker here is facing the left side, or facing towards the CPU. And there we go, that's the click. So now our RAM's in. It's pretty simple, very simple to put the RAM in. Next up, we'll put the CPU itself. So open up the CPU, be very gentle with this, because a lot of problems can occur if the pins are bent. So look at the CPU itself. Look at the CPU itself. There's a little golden triangle on the corner of one of the corners, and on the motherboard there's a triangle there as well. So just match them together. I'll show you now, let me just come up. So right here is a golden triangle there, and on the motherboard itself there's a triangle right there in the corner. So just make sure they're matching, and you put them against each other like this, and it should just place in. You should have to put no pressure on the actual board, it should just go in. So there we go, it just slots in straight away. So you shouldn't have to put any pressure out whatsoever.
It was at this moment that he knew. he fucked up.
Basically, motherboard has a slot for CPU. CPU has pins on the back that fit in the socket. The pins look like this. And what happens to the pins when me, the dumbass, drops them and drops the CPU? The pins become like this. What happens to the socket? It doesn't fit in it. What do I do for the next 20 minutes? Use one of these, a toothpick, to fix the CPU pins. And I end up being successful. So anyway, moving on. Alright, continuing from that incident, we have the SSD now. At the M.2, so it goes in right here. We already took off the cover for it. So now we're just gonna plug that in. So you should just hear a little click. And then you get the screws from the motherboard itself. Just open that. All we need is one screw because we only have one SSD. These screws are tiny as hell and they're annoying to get in, but I'm just gonna put it on top. And just screw it in. It might take a couple of attempts because it is really annoying and fidgety, but shouldn't be too bad. Alright, there we go, that's in. Alright, continuing on to the CPU cooler. This is just a stock cooler. Yeah, so we have to take off these brackets here. So these 4 screws, just take them off. So I'll do that now. Just 1. 2. 3. Take off that bracket. And 4. Alright, now, normally for the AMD sign, I like to face it to the left side and just have all 4 corners in the 4 slots. So make sure they're all properly on there. It's pretty simple after that. You want to tighten every side equally. So I like to do the corners first to distribute it evenly. So just, this part can get kind of annoying sometimes, but you got to keep switching between all the sides so you can properly screw it in. Alright, now that they're all 4 sides in except for this one, let me just put this one in. So you see what I mean? It can get kind of annoying. So I missed a 2 there, so I'm gonna have to start again. Anyway, I'll get back to you when this is in. Alright, now that they're all screwed in, just make sure to screw until you stop. Don't force it, just keep screwing until it stops. There we go, stopped. You don't want to over tighten stuff because it's not good as well. So just, yeah, keep going until it stops. There we go. And lastly this side. There we go. So yeah, now you have this cable 4-pin. You want to plug it into the CPU fan right there. So just make sure that's plugged into there. It's pretty simple, just put all the pins together, that's it. I like to tuck it in between here so you don't actually see the wire because you know you want it to look nice. So just tuck it in there. And yeah, that's it for the CPU cooler. Alright, after some complications, we're back. Now we're going to put the actual motherboard in the case. Come over here. The case itself has 9 standoffs, which is these screws here. So we're going to, each screw, so these are the screws we got. These are the ones from the actual case. So they go in each standoff to actually secure the case. So just line it up with the standoffs themselves. So it's pretty simple. Just make sure none of the cables are in the way and just line it up. So make sure they're all lined up together. So yeah, they're all lined up, and now just screw them in each standoff, screw it in. There's 9 of them, so just make sure all of them are in. Can't believe how dumb I am while building this PC, but forgot that I should. Anyway, it looks like this. Really simple, just pressure on both sides and it goes in. Yeah, continuing on. I'll just cancel the audio.
I like dick. I love dick.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Alright, so now we're going to be installing the power supply. So I already explained before, 650 watt, it's pretty decent. You want the fan here to be facing down where the air filter is, so make sure it's facing down. So just put it in and make sure it aligns with the screws at the back. The screws we're going to use, they're in the box, they're these ones here. they're for the power supply themselves. There's exactly 4 of them. So yeah, just screw them in at the back. Also, before we actually screw it in, you want to, because this is a semi-modular power supply, you want to take out the cables that you actually need for the for the PC. Sorry. So for this PC, what I'm going to need is I'm going to need 1 SATA cable. So I'll take out a SATA cable. I'm going to need a PCIe for the actual GPU, and that's it. All I need extra. The rest we can just keep for later if we ever need them again. But yeah, so just make sure before you actually put it in, just put it in, align it. Just know this as one rule. If it doesn't go in the actual space, that's not where it's meant to go. And that's basically it. So just make sure you install them, just put the power supply in, screw it in, and the power supply is in. Alright, now we're going to connect all the power supply cables to the actual motherboard. So there's 3 cables here. So first we're going to connect the 32 pin one. It goes right here. It's pretty visible, you can't miss it. Make sure the clip is on the same side where the clip is on the motherboard, and it should just go in straight away. There we go. So that's in now. Make it look a little bit nice and neat. Next is the CPU one. So the CPU one goes at the top, so it's up here. So it's pretty simple. So just put it through here, and again make sure the clip. This one's at the top, so make sure the clip's at the top as well, and just put it in there. So that's it there for that as well. Alright, now I'm going to install the hard drive itself. So I've put the hard drive in the actual tray that case comes with, and I haven't put screws, but normally you put screws, but really there's no point in it because sometimes I need to switch the hard drive. So, and it's really pretty stable here as well, so it doesn't really matter. Anyway, I'll slot it in there. Should just go straight in. There we go. And the 2 cables we need. So we need the SATA cable here. So the SATA cable actually comes with the motherboard. So that one goes in the smaller cable right here. So just make sure that goes in. There we go. And next up you need the SATA cable. So this is the one we got from the motherboard before. So just put that in. So that should just go in straight away as well. There we go. And then just put the SATA cable in here. There we go. They're both in. Come around to the front. The SATA cable itself, it plugs into the top 2 ones. If you look at the manual, it'll show which ones actually work when you have an SSD, because some of them get deactivated because there's an SSD there. So normally the top one's still safe to use, I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure it's some of the bottom 2 that disable after you put an M.2. So I'm just gonna put that in now, the SATA cable. And yeah, there we go. Once you hear that click, there's your hard drive installed. Yeah, so after we done the power supply cables, all we done was basically put in all the case cables and also the actual fan cables. So there was 3 fan cables. There's 6 inputs on this motherboard, so we only need 3 of them. There's these 2 up here and this one down here. We also put in the actual case cables for like the switch and the USB port, and yeah, those. There's also the audio one that's here and the USB one that's here, and that was basically, those are all the cables for the case and for the fans. So yeah, and the last step is putting in the graphics card and we're done.
Actually.
Alright, so last we're going to put in the GPU. You got to take out these slots. So for the GPU here, you've got to take out slots 2 and 3 for the GPU to go in. So it's very simple. Just unscrew this and the slot will just fall out. Make sure to keep the screws so you can actually plug it in the graphics card. So just that's the first one out, and this thing just comes off. Just simple like that. Take out the second one as well. Sorry, the third one. So number slots 2 and 3 is all you need to take out for the GPU. So once we take out these, make sure this click is clicked out so you can go in and out. So make sure it's out. Get the graphics card. So this is our graphics card from MSI. Looks really nice. So now, of course, all graphics cards, they have these shields over them. So just take them off, you know. They're on all the slots for display. And yeah, so there's all out. And now you just want to line it up with the actual pins on the motherboard. And just once you hear a click, you'll know it's in. So just push.
2,000 years later.
Alright, now that it's done after some complications, just make sure to screw these in. They just go where it was before, just the same area. I'm just going to switch screwdriver. Yeah, so where it was, just make sure to screw it in so the graphics card doesn't move itself. Screw them too. And then after this, we're just going to connect the PCIe cables to the graphics card. And that's it. Plug in the PC and see if it turns on. Let me just grab the graphics card cables. You want to put them through the slot here, through this rubber slot, so you know it looks more nicer. Or you can even do it down here. So I'm just going to go down here.
One eternity later.
Alright, now after final step, you know, just plug this in. This is 8 pins, so it should just go in straight away. And also the clips there as well, so make sure clips in. There we go, everything's in, and we're done. PC build. Congratulations, man. So last step is we're gonna actually see if it turns on, and then we're gonna do the cable management stuff. So yeah, we'll plug it into the wall there. See what happens. Imagine it doesn't turn on.
Did you like?
Are you ready? No. Alright, are you ready?
Yes, we are.
I'm gonna plug this in.
Let's go.
Okay, come look. 3,
No, pop right now.
2, 1. What happened?
You have to turn it on from the
Nah!
It's a very common mistake.
Alright, go!
Wait, give me.
Guys, all 3 of us, come on now. It's a big. Come on now. 3, 2, 1. No!
Yeah!
Oh.
So yeah, beautiful PC. Finish the build. Now don't look at the back. Oh no. So now, after some complications and trial and error, we finished the build. So this is the build. It looks pretty good. We just got to get a CPU cooler, like an actual one. Yeah, we got that, but it hasn't come in yet, so we have to build it now without it. But eventually we'll get it and we'll put it. It's like a Cooler Master one. It's white as well, so a match to build. And yeah, we're installing Windows now. Installing Windows. So yeah, we're done the build. It's pretty decent. So that's everything. Thank you for watching. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm gonna try to keep uploading. Comment if you guys want to change anything, or like if you want any new suggestions or whatever you want. And yeah, thank you. Bye now.
Catch you guys later.